Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage ACCT Vice Chair and Trustee from North Iowa Area Community College, Jean Torgeson.
Good afternoon. It is now my great pleasure to introduce this afternoon's keynote speakers, Sarita Brown, Michelle Cooper, and William Trueheart. Sarita Brown is President of Excellencia in Education, a national not-for-profit organization that works to accelerate Latino success in higher education by linking research, policy, and practice to serve Latino students. She has spent more than 2 decades at prominent national educational institutions and at the highest levels of a government working to implement effective strategies to raise academic achievement and opportunities for low-income and minority students. In 2009, she was honored with the Harold G. McGraw Jr. Prize in Education for innovative thinking, strong leadership, and accomplishment by example. Michelle Cooper is president of the Institute for Higher Education Policy, better known as IHEP. While leading one of the world's premier research and policy centers, Dr. Cooper is responsible for developing new ideas and strategic approaches that help low-income, minority, and other historically underrepresented students gain access to and achieve success in post-secondary education. And finally, but by no means least, is William Trueheart, President and CEO of Achieving the Dream, Inc., a national nonprofit organization that helps more community college students succeed, particularly low-income students and students of color. He is the former president and CEO of the Pittsburgh Foundation, one of the oldest and largest community college foundations in the country. He is also the former president and CEO of Reading is Fundamental. Today's esteemed panelists share the stage to discuss achieving success, commitment to excellence, and strategic approaches to student success. Please join me in welcoming our speakers.
Good afternoon. I'm Michelle Cooper, and I'm going to kick off our discussion this afternoon. But before I do that, I would like to thank ACCT for the invitation to speak at this year's event. I'm really happy to be here to talk with you, to learn from you, and to let you know that we at the Institute for Higher Education Policy support your endeavors. We really believe that the work that's going on at community colleges nationwide is crucial, and want to lend our support in any way possible. I'm also happy to be here with my colleagues who I don't get an opportunity to interact with as often as I'd like, so thank you all for at least giving us this opportunity to speak with each other as well. So my task is to kick off the conversation, and I'm going to start by telling you a little bit more about what we do at the Institute for Higher Education Policy, but also talk about the higher education context that we're in and how IHEP and our work fits into that context, but also to give the trustees in the audience a little bit of advice. And then I'm going to toss the baton to Sarita and to Bill, who will do a deeper dive in telling you about the work that they're doing at their respective organizations. So as you heard, the Institute for Higher Education Policy, we are a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization. We are independent. And we stress that in the work that we do. We are focused on the issues of college access and college success. And we've been around since 1993, and that's very important to us. We've been around for quite some time talking about this issue. And we are proud of that legacy, and we are proud of it for 3 reasons, really. The first is we believe that since we've been here the longest, we have helped to shape the conversation. and we have helped to usher in a lot of the topics that people are talking about and a lot of the things that have happened over the past 18 years that have expanded access and opportunities to so many students. We're also proud that there are others doing this work with us now. Over the past 18 years, we've not been able to resolve all issues in higher education. We've been able to tackle some, but there's still much more work to be done. And so we're happy to have partners in this work, like the work of Excellencia in Education and like the work of Achieving the Dream and many other organizations that are national policy organizations like IHEP. And also, we are proud that over the 18 years of our existence, that we have remained steadfast in our commitment to issues of equity. Equity is very important to us at IHEP. We centralize low-income students, we centralize minority students, first-generation students, and a host of other students who represent the underserved population in all of our work. Much of our work is based in terms of policy research, and we use that to inform broader discussions with decision makers. We believe that data drives good decisions, and we support that, and we believe that we need to amplify those efforts, but we work closely with people at institutions to help build capacity in terms of data, but also because you all are in the trenches, you are working with the students, and behind every statistic that we at IHEP put forth, you have the students who represent the face of that statistic. So it's very important for us to do our work well to remain in close contact with all of you. So that's a little bit about what I do. Just want to talk briefly about two big issues that are common discussions in the higher education community. I know you've heard about it. And one is the issue of college completion, and the other deals with financial aid. In terms of college completion, that is something that we at IHEP have been focused on for years. We believe that college completion, college success is crucial for our nation, and early on in our research, when we talked about the issue of college completion, we talked about it as having benefits to the individual as well as benefits to society. And that rationale resonated with some, but I have to confess it didn't resonate with all. And now we're in a situation with a jobs crisis, and what we have seen is that the completion conversation has been propelled because we're talking about jobs, and we're talking about economic security and employment opportunities that benefit our nation. And so we're also recognizing that in order to talk about college completion, at least on the broader national scale, we still talk about individual civic benefits and social benefits, but we recognize that in the next decade, 60% of all new jobs will require some college education, whether that's an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, or certificate, and we recognize that and we rally behind it. One point of caution in talking about college completion is that I have found that in many recent conversations, people are negating the topic of access, and they are somehow making access and completion as competing priorities. And I want to stress to you all, the trustees and the leadership of the community colleges in this room, let's not fall into that trap. Access and completion are complementary priorities. In fact, you can't complete unless you haven't enrolled yet. And what you all probably know very well is that for students at your institutions, access is still a challenge. Many students still can't get through the door. And this is why I feel like data is very important. When we look at national data, there are a variety of reasons that we see why students aren't making it through the door.